at noon with Mike Steely and Parker Thune. Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, here's Mike Steely and Parker Thune.
All right, welcome into Thursday, everybody. How we doing? Hope everything's going well. We are in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios today. We'll be out at Riverwind tomorrow. Wait a minute, I've got to hit my mark over here on YouTube. I think I'm good now. So hope everybody's having a great Thursday so far. Yet another dagger for Sooner Nation last night, delivered by Ortega Oweh. You got one from 3-0 East in Columbia, Missouri. Then you get the Ortega Oweh dagger last night. Parker Thune, a tough one. A very tough one last night for Sooner Nation.
I don't know if that loss could have been any more agonizing, Steely. Ortega Oweh, the Oklahoma X, scored the last 18 points of the game for Kentucky. Hit the contested shot in traffic with 6 seconds left to give Kentucky the decisive advantage. That made you feel like the movie villain, right? Like the bloodied and battered hero raises his hands in triumph at the end of the night after defeating the evil empire. And
wait a minute, you're saying Oklahoma's the evil empire?
Well, I know that's what it feels like, though.
Thune, you all hear Thune right there, huh? You call me Longhorn Steely, you just called OU the evil empire.
Makes you feel like you're the villain in the movie script, right? Where Ortega Oweh serves the comeuppance to the evil entity.
How many of these daggers can Sooner Nation take? It's way too much. Here is the T-Row final call last night, and of course I put a little of Mike Steely, production value at the end of it. So let's roll that.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's go.
82-81 OU, full court pressure. Perry will bring it up. Fears defending, half court with 14. Perry gives to Oweh. Miles knocked it loose. Oweh chased it down. 10 seconds. Oweh drives to the rim. Step through. Layup at the front of the rim. Made it. With 6.1. Inbound to Fears. No timeout. Fears. Head of steam. Step through at the rim. Shot blocked. Rebound Kentucky. And that's the ball game. 83-82. Kentucky wins it.
Damn it! Son of a bitch!
That was me live in my living room last night. I was very upset. Very, very difficult, bitter pill to swallow. And Sooner Nation has a lot of those. Has had a lot of those lately. Too many. Way too many. Let's hear from Porter after the game. This was Porter in the post game. Says that, disappointment obviously, but the Sooners have to keep fighting.
Porter?
Hey Porter, hey Porter.
They were hurting, as we all were, but they all kind of said, if we play this like this, we have, we got to take this hurt out on Ole Miss. There's no doubt. I think we found something, and it starts with Jeremiah, spraying it and getting other. We had some contributions from other guys, and we missed a big time switch on that 45 seconds left. It was just a guard back screen, and we mess it up, and Tega was wide open. I mean, we needed to get stops, and we couldn't get stops 3 straight times down the stretch.
I wish you had one more bucket or got one more call go your way, but that was a great college basketball game. Thanks for joining us.
I want to thank everybody. I thought the fans that were here,
atmosphere was fun.
The students were awesome. They were really trying to make the guys miss the free throw, so thank you, and we're going to fight back.
It was an interesting night. It started out there was a certain cable company that rhymes with Fox that we went down to the bare bones minimum that you can have because we had to stay on to keep something.
Are you still holding out on good speed and OEC fiber?
We're getting closer because I'm of the opinion that if something's not – now our internet has been good, but I'm waiting for the next disaster, and the next disaster is going to OEC. I'll just say that. But I'm the believer of, it's kind of right now. It's working pretty good, looks pretty good. But we don't have the SEC network provided by Cox. Now, on YouTube, we do, But what happened last night? A&M and Vandy played a game that lasted for freaking ever. I mean, 4 minutes took 4 hours. It was ridiculous. I think we finally got to the Oklahoma game, and of course I'm following on the ESPN and play-by-play and everything. I couldn't listen to T-Row because we had, I had that up. I had the Thunder game on, multitasking. But A&M and Vanderbilt, it was the game that would never end last night. It was ridiculous. I think we finally got to the Oklahoma-Kentucky game, at least on YouTube TV, with about 7.5 minutes left in the first half. It was ridiculous. But what did you think? Some people thought Sooners should have called timeouts on Jeremiah Fear's drive. You had Brandon Garrison with a punk move at the end of the game. I thought we were going to have fisticuffs at the LNC.
Donnybrook?
I thought we were going to have a melee at Donnybrook, yes. Good old-fashioned Donnybrook right there at Lloyd Noble.
I don't know how hot of a take it is, Steely, but I liked the fact it's easy to second-guess the result, or I should say it's easy to second-guess the decision based on the results, but I liked the fact that Porter Moser and Oklahoma just decided to play it out over the last 6 seconds. And
I'm always in favor of that. You don't give the defense a chance to set up. Now, you can question whether Fears should have kicked it out. It looked like you might have been able to call a foul there. The block was clean, but he probably got bodied a little bit.
Well,
but I like the move of not going with the timeout.
And one of my biggest criticisms of Porter throughout his 4 years as Oklahoma's basketball coach has been he's not good at drawing up a final possession play. Right? He's not good at orchestrating a decisive possession, a final possession. And so I thought in that moment it made a lot more sense to just let your best player try and do something. And Jeremiah Fears is Oklahoma's best player. Put the ball in his hands, let him go down the floor, get ahead of steam, going into the paint. I think Oklahoma got what they wanted, which is Fears getting a close look at the basket. They didn't get the call. They didn't get the foul call.
Their biggest issue down the stretch was not being able to get stops more than anything else. And you can talk about, Glenn Taylor made 1 3, and then he took one. Maybe he shouldn't have taken the other one. He was open. It was a good look. But you want your best players, in that situation normally to take the shot. But I'm sure he was feeling it after knocking down that 3. But the bottom line is the Sooners, again, right now, they're 4-11 in the league. They go to Ole Miss. They go to Oxford Saturday. Now, Ole Miss has lost 3 in a row. They got bombarded by Auburn last night. They recently lost a home game to Mississippi State. They lost at Vandy. And, again, they lost at Auburn last night. So they're reeling a little bit. But the Sooners are going to have to win 2 of 3. That would get you to 6-12, unless you could win out, which, good luck with that. I think the meteor might hit us before that happens. But if you can get to 6-12, let's say you upset Ole Miss or you upset Texas on the road, Missouri, they're playing good basketball, no doubt. What a turnaround they've had, the Missouri Tigers this year on the court. But, again, winnable game for Oklahoma at home next Wednesday. But you got to get to 6-12. There's no guarantee at 6-12 you're getting in, even with their quad 1 wins, even with the good non-conference wins they had. Playing in the toughest conference in the country. I think if you get to if you could get to 7-11, you'd be good. What that means, even if you can get to 2, you may have to win two more games in the SEC tournament in Nashville. So it is a major uphill climb.
And what hurts the most about last night, Steely, is that Oklahoma played well.
For the most
part. It felt like for
maybe
the 3rd or 4th time throughout this conference slate, Oklahoma played a good basketball game. Didn't leave a whole lot out there. Didn't leave a whole lot to be desired with their performance. And they were right there with a chance to seal the deal on the final possession. A chance to upset Kentucky on their home floor. Get a win that, according to Joe Lunardi and ESPN, would have given them a 71% chance to make the 68-team field. And now you can more or less kiss it goodbye because 6-12, you're right. You got to win 2 of 3 to feel even halfway decent about your chance to wind up in the 68-team field. 5-13 in conference is just not doing it.
No.
It's not doing it.
And normally 6-12, you'd be laughed at like, you're not going to the tournament. You won 1/3 of your league games. But when you're in the SEC and you have the quad 1 record that they have, they might have a shot. I still think that would barely keep them out, but, just go out there and try and get a couple more wins. You're going to have to probably make some noise in the SEC tournament, but how many times have they given up the home floor? You can't give up the home floor that many times. A&M, Texas, LSU, this game to Kentucky, of course, last night. You can't lose 4 home games in the conference. You just can't.
Kyle from Salisaw on the text line asks the million-dollar question. How did we not have a better game plan for defending Oweh after knowing his tendencies from literally playing on our team the last 2 years?
I mean, that's a good question. And again,
28 points, career high last night for Otega Oweh.
How did he get that open with 45 seconds left in the game? Now, Kentucky executed it. The Sooners didn't roll off the screen and didn't defend it well. But the shot that he made, the last shot that he made, as you mentioned, he scored 18 in a row, 21 of the last 23 points for UK last night. So a heck of a game. But the degree of difficulty on that shot, even though it was pretty close to the basket, was still pretty tough. So, again, it's just been you've got to protect your home court better than the Sooners have, or you're digging yourself a very deep hole. And they're in a Grand Canyon-sized hole right now. Maybe they have a shot this weekend. Ole Miss, again, reeling on 3 straight losses, and they've dropped out of the top 25. But that game was right there. It felt like one shot. Jalen Moore had some open looks down the stretch. Now, for the most part, he played well, but, again, there were a couple open shots there. Glenn Taylor, you may not have liked that second three-point attempt, but he was pretty open. Didn't knock that one down. So it's just been that kind of deal for Oklahoma, all year. So there we go. We'll see what happens in Oxford Saturday. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. That's 405-651-3439. The OU women play tonight, 6 o'clock in Gainesville at the O'Connell Center against Florida. Florida's not very good. The Sooner women 21-6, 9-5 in the league. And then they will play their last regular season game Sunday against Alabama, 1:30 on the SEC Network, and then it's off to Greenville, South Carolina for the Sooners in the SEC Women's Tournament. So softball Friday, they play 2 games, 2 games Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow, 14-0, Patty Gasso and company so far this season. They play Marshall at 1:45, Kansas at 4:45. They'll play Kansas and Marshall Saturday as well. And then UMKC, Kansas City, in a single game on Sunday. Baseball beat Texas Southern 5-4 yesterday to go to 8-0 on the season. They've got Cal State Northridge Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the Thunder, man, they had to work for it last night. 129-121. They found themselves down 18 against the Brooklyn Nets, who were throwing in threes left and right. SGA had 27. I thought Chet Holmgren had a fantastic game, 22 points, 17 rebounds, 3 blocks. Case and Wallace's defense was unbelievable also. And Oklahoma City outscored the Nets 68-45 in the second half. Trailed again by as many as 18. Oklahoma City at Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks coming up tomorrow night at 6:30. Sunday at the Wemby-less Spurs in a game on ESPN. Okay, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. On YouTube today, here is your poll question. With the Combine getting underway today, I think Danny Stutzman and Ethan Downs are going through stuff today, aren't they?
I believe so, yes.
Which current Sooner football player will have the best NFL career? Now, we have 3 choices and another. R. Mason Thomas, Kip Lewis, Deion Burks. Or you can click other and comment in the chat. So that's what we're looking for today on YouTube. Again, which current Sooner football player will have the best NFL career? R. Mason Thomas, Kip Lewis, Deion Burks, or somebody else. So get to YouTube, just search KREF Sports. You want to work in a few texts before we take our first break?
Frisco Sooner says, the fact that we are even talking about a team that's 4-1 in conference is an absolute joke. 4-11, excuse me. I don't care if they won all of their non-conference games. Oh, wait, I forgot. They did win all of their non-conference games. I still can't believe it. You start 13-0, and you are now 4-11 in SEC play. Moser seems like a great guy, and we know he can coach, but dang, he's snake bit.
Well, it's crazy to me. Look, do I think the door is basically shut on Oklahoma? I do, unless there's some Disney movie ending to this, and they win 3 straight, and they go win a game or two in Nashville. But they are playing better basketball, but not good enough to get the dub last night down the stretch. I don't think this team has quit on Porter Moser, but it is crazy to me to think, 6-12, they might have a shot, because I don't care what league you're playing in. When you win 1/3 of your conference games, you should not go to the big dance. Now, again, if Oklahoma gets there, will I be happy about it? 100% I will be. I still think they'd probably have to get to 7, and if they do get to 6-12, probably win a game or two again in Nashville in the SEC tournament. Okay, want to thank Lasher Home Comfort Systems. Tim Lasher, you're a great Sooner with a great company. 405-579-3113. That's 405-579-3113 for Lasher Home Comfort Systems. Home comfort you can trust. We'll take an opening timeout. We'll come back and hear what some people are saying about the hiring of Jim Nagy as the Sooners' new football GM. We'll do that next right here on the Home of Sooner Fans.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
Every day, 32 people in the U.S. lose their lives in crashes involving a drunk driver. That's one life every 45 minutes.
The victims aren't just numbers. They are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters whose lives are forever changed.
From life-threatening injuries to years of recovery, the aftermath of a drunk driving crash can be devastating. If you or a loved one have been hurt by a drunk driver, you don't have to face it alone. Call McIntyre Law at 405-777-7000.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Oklahoma.
Hey, Dad, what do you do for work?
Well, you know how in football, we work together to protect the quarterback and sack the opponent's quarterback.
Yeah?
At work, I do something similar. I protect people who've been hurt in accidents and make sure those big insurance companies pay what they should.
I get it. You sack the insurance companies.
That's right. I fight for people's rights, making sure they get the help and justice they deserve.
When you're hurt, call attorney Jonathan Jackson. Get help. Get justice. Get JJ Law. Call 855-GET-JJ Law today.
It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO News weather forecast. Not as breezy this afternoon. North wind about 10 miles an hour with a sunny sky. We'll enjoy highs into the upper 60s. Tonight, winds will shift to the southwest about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll see overnight lows near about 40 degrees. Friday, we'll see highs in the upper 70s with the southwest wind gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. We'll keep it dry. This weekend, we're looking at highs in the 60s. Storms.
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
For 50 years, Moore Norman Technology Center has been our community's trusted source for technical career training in high-demand fields like healthcare and construction trades. On March 4th, voters have an opportunity to decide on a student investment plan aimed at increasing capacity at Moore Norman so all qualified students can train for a life-changing career. Moore Norman Technology Center, preparing students for a future that works. Visit mntc.edu/student investment for details and make plans to vote on March 4th.
Tired of soaring insurance expenses or feeling uncertain about your coverage? At Right Way Insurance, every client receives a dedicated team of experts committed to addressing all your insurance worries. As an independent insurance company, they provide both personal and business coverage. Let them assist you in finding the optimal coverage for your specific needs. Contact Right Way Insurance at 405-607-6014 or at rightwayinsuranceok.com. That's Right Way Insurance, your trusted partner at 405-607-6014.
All right, Thursday edition, Steelman and Thune here in the home of Sooner fans. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We are streaming live on YouTube, and we'll be checking the chat there. High Fidelity Records is there already. OU basketball finding new ways each time to rip our hearts out. Yeah, the crowd poked the bear, Ortega, and he came out mauling. You know, it was interesting because last year, I don't remember a lot of people that were saying, man, it's great to have Ortega away. He's just killing it for us. And then you hear the traitor chants late in the game. I think T-Row summed it up very well, so I'll steal this from him because I thought he put it perfectly this morning. It's like, how many people look, I think most people still like Porter and root for Porter, but they're very upset. And let's say Porter Moser left for another job before maybe knowing that he was going to have a tough time at Oklahoma, or he may not be back at Oklahoma. You know, that could have been the situation at DePaul last year, but it'd be like Porter Moser coming back, as T-Row said this morning, and people chanting traitor at him. You know, it's like, wait a minute, you guys didn't like Ortega.
Yeah, you didn't even like him when he was here.
At all a year ago.
If he were still on the team, you'd probably be complaining about how bad he is.
Some of that is just the way it is these days. I get it. But it seemed like it wasn't a packed house last night. It seemed like it was pretty juiced at the
It was pretty, like, again, we go back to it, Steely. Every single time, for one reason or another, Oklahoma manages to get a pretty decent-sized crowd out to the Lloyd Noble Center. They lose the game, generally in agonizing fashion, and then you're right back to square one with your attendance issue the next game.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Sooners are Wile E. Coyote chasing the Roadrunner. You know, just when you think you have it, you know, there's a anvil from Acme that drops on your head or something. You know, it's like it happens, it seems. And how many players have had these magic moments? And look, they're good players, so they're going to make plays. But, I mean, they have had these out-of-this-world, unbelievable finishes or shots to close out the game against Oklahoma. And the Sooners got the ball in the right hands at the end of the game. Again, I'm a big fan of not calling a timeout in that situation, particularly if you have a guy who can create like Fears can. I think most, I would guess, I don't have any facts to sort this out, but just watching a lot of basketball, it seems like a lot of the last-second shots or drives to the bucket usually happen on a missed shot. You claim the rebound, and you get down court, right? I didn't see how the Michigan State shot happened last night, but there was no time to call a timeout really there, the half-court heave against Maryland. But it just didn't work out again for Oklahoma, which is very unfortunate. Okay, let's get a few more texts in, then let's talk about the Sooners and Jim Nagy, the home run hire the Sooners made for their new football GM.
A listener in the 405 says, don't they have a 45% chance to make the tourney? Hardly a shut door.
Well, here's the deal.
Do you
on that.
actually believe that Oklahoma has a 45% chance to make the tournament right now?
They do. They have them at 45, but here's the deal. You have to play out the other games, right? Mm-hmm. So, and you've got, Mississippi, Ole Miss isn't ranked anymore, but you got to play a ranked Missouri team. So I don't think they're completely done, but I I don't know, 45 sounds like, look, Lenardi and those people, they know what they're doing.
Well,
but at the same time, it's where they are right now.
And this speaks to the reality that artificial intelligence will only ever be so intelligent. Hopefully, might be a scary world if that ever is no longer the case. But while a computer might be able to sit there and tell you, yeah, Oklahoma's got a 45% chance to make the NCAA tournament, would any human being look at that team and their resume right now and what they have the rest of the way schedule-wise and say, yep, 45% chance they're in the dance? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's an uphill climb, no doubt about it. I think we all know that. Everybody knows that. But you know what scares me more than the artificial intelligence? And I have said down the road, good luck, ladies and gentlemen, if you're 30 or younger, because the AI robots will form an army and you will be in big trouble. But unless you fight back and learn how to fight back. Now, what scares me more in the current situation that we're in, though, is the lack of human intelligence.
What example are you about to cite here?
I mean, we have more morons than ever, right? In my opinion. And that's all I get to say about that. So the scarier thing right now, the future of AI intelligence could be scary, but the current lack of human intelligence is really what could lead to the end.
Have you been following the Ole Miss Burnerverse story? We talked about this yesterday on Locked In.
Is that the one with the girl and the dad? And
yes, the girl and the dad.
You people are so tawdry. I get why that's a story, but if there is no social media, that's just a rumor / maybe fact, I guess, in Oxford, Mississippi, right? I mean, it is pretty. Can you imagine, though?
I cannot imagine. I don't want to imagine.
The boyfriend should be back in 4th and 40 formation right now. I mean, you got to be pretty weak to say, yeah, I'm cool with that. No problem. We can work through that. No, you can't. And how about the dad? What a horrible human.
Allegedly. Emphasis on allegedly. Because I guess the girl publicly addressed it all for the first time this morning and said in so many words exactly what you would expect her to say, which is, none of this is true, and I'm suing everyone who helped propagate it.
Okay. Yeah, all the idiots out on social media had a great time with that. So you have too much time on your hands. A great song by Styx, but true in this situation. Okay.
Patrick on the text line doing his best Dwight Schrute. I'm all for population control. There are far too many idiots out there now. There's too many people in this world. We need a new plague.
World. We're taking away Granny's meds, and I mean, it's just, Jeez.
Reformed Homer says, there's always been a high number of morons, but with social media, they are now exposed for all to see.
That's exactly right, Reformed Homer. Social media, like I said, nowadays, it's like if you had a house that hadn't been cleaned in a while, let's say, and you go into the kitchen, you turn on the lights at midnight, and all the roaches start scattering. The roaches are all there on social media. We have the light on all the time.
Was it Mark Twain that said, better to keep your mouth shut and appear a fool than open it and remove all doubt?
Yes, absolutely. All right, you want to play J.D. Pickell, your boy, on the Jim Nagy hire for the Sooners? Here's what he had to say.
Who in the hell is J.D. Pickell?
And right, tell Pickle, where he can shove a pickle, all right? Well, here's what he said about the Jim Nagy hire.
So why is this important that they landed a Jim Nagy? Why is this a good hire, like everyone on that message board is telling you? Jim Nagy, as the executive director of the Senior Bowl, his job was to find dudes. But you hire someone from the professional level, that makes me feel like there is a direction they're heading that would mirror that of the professional level, which is, of course, having the resources to go land top talent like you do, again, at the NFL level. So this is just another move to me when you look at Oklahoma and the offseason they've had to this point, where they are continuing to tell you the standard does not change. We don't care what conference we're in. Be in the Big Ten, be in the SEC, be in the Big 12. It does not matter. As long as we have this logo and these colors in this place, we are going to expect to compete at the highest level. And so last year was last year. Everyone understands that wasn't good enough. What do? Go land a Ben Arbuckle, a Broyles Award semifinalist, or a finalist, You go land a John Mateer, one of the top quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Your head coach calls his own number to call the defense, and he's one of the best defensive minds in the sport. And then you go and hire a GM now who was interviewing for GM jobs at the NFL level. These are all what we like to call boss moves. And when you make boss moves, you eventually expect to get boss results. And so that's what Oklahoma expects to get now.
There you go. What do you think of JD's take on the Sooners' new GM, Jim Nagy?
I'm on board with boss results, Steely.
Mm-hmm.
How soon do we get to see those boss results? That's the real question. Because Jim Nagy, I'm not quite sure how immediately you're going to feel his impact on the program. I think his very first order of business is going to be filling in the gaps for Oklahoma in the spring transfer portal window, because there are a couple of available scholarships. There are a couple of things that a couple of players that Oklahoma needs to add at crucial spots. They're going to look for another cornerback. They need another cornerback. They might go look for another offensive lineman or another linebacker. So I think that's going to be, in an immediate sense, the very first thing that Jim Nagy is tasked with. Hey, go find us a couple of players in the spring portal that maybe aren't even in the portal yet, but that we want on our team, that can help our bottom line, and that we can get a leg up on whenever they do enter the portal because we're effectively back channeling. And that's we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but that's the advantage of hiring somebody like a Jim Nagy as well, is that because of his job as executive director of the Senior Bowl, his contacts on his phone.
Oh, quite the contact list.
His contacts list includes pretty much every single agent worth knowing. And so
there may not be a guy that's out there that's better connected than Jim Nagy when it comes to all that stuff.
Correct.
I mean, I'm sure there's some maybe in the same ballpark or maybe even a little bit more, but he's right up there in the high-rent district.
And if you go find somebody at another school, let's just say Utah State. Let's say there is a linebacker at Utah State that you really, really like, and he's not in the portal, and maybe he's not planning on getting in the portal, but you got Jim Nagy in the building, and Jim Nagy's got his agent on speed dial. You can start having those back channel conversations. Hey, is your guy at all interested in coming to play at the University of Oklahoma? If so, tell him to get in the portal. We'll pay him this much.
Yeah, I think, again, as you said, and we talked about this yesterday, it doesn't mean the Sooners are going to go out and win 10 games next year. Maybe they will. If they're really improved in areas, they have better luck with injuries and all that stuff. They've still got a murderer's row schedule. It's going to be very difficult to navigate. But I think 2-3 years down the road is when you'll start seeing the real impact that Jim Nagy will have. Now, will he have some impact immediately? Sure he will. He already has, in terms of, just the perception of this hire, which everybody's saying it's a great hire. Everybody likes him. Everybody respects him. It's a home run hire so far, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, but I think it's really been good. Okay, 405-651-3439. Eric Carr checking in from Southern California as I work from home. Eric in the OC on the text line. Eric Carr, wasn't it the drummer for Kiss who did the song Beth? We'd have to go ahead and Google it up.
You would know this, Steely.
I thought it was
I probably
the other
would
drummer, not Peter Criss, but Eric Carr he wrote Beth, right? The other drummer, yeah.
Rob Booman says Jim Nagy needs to increase OU's player poaching effectiveness to national championship caliber.
Yeah, it's a totally different world out there. I don't know if college football is going to crash and burn in 5 or 10 years, but, you've got to play the game. You've got to play the game. At first, I think there were a lot of coaches. Dabo's finally come around, right? Who was Brent with for a long time as the DC winning natties at Clemson with? Dabo. And when Brent first talked about the portal, he was not super in favor of the portal, but they're all in now because all of a sudden you find out that everybody's in the portal, everybody's getting players. There's a lot of tampering going on. You know, you either get in the fast lane or you are 2 laps down like that. So, and I think the Sooners are certainly in the fast lane now.
Kyle from Salisaw says, hats off to the powers that be for getting Naggie on staff. We are now ahead of most, if not all, of the other schools with all the changes coming.
I like it. I like the moves. We talked about this yesterday. Not only the Arbuckle and Mateer, Randall Stevenson, I think that's a really good move. Smart guy. He knows how to organize things. Great financial guy. And personnel guy, Jim Nagy, to me, looks like a home run.
Well, and here's the other thing that's worth mentioning in this entire conversation that maybe hasn't been discussed a whole heck of a lot yet. A lot of the onus just got taken off of Brent Venables. A lot of the responsibility just got taken off of Brent Venables as far as building the roster. Because Jim Nagy is your personnel czar now. He's going to have the final authority, the final say on who Oklahoma recruits. And in a more practical sense, Brent Venables is going to be handed a roster and told, go coach these guys up, give us a winning product. Jim Nagy is the one that, for all intents and purposes, is going to be the key authority figure in roster construction.
Yeah, and he's the right guy for this job. And look, Curtis Lofton was in there, great former Sooner, great player for the Atlanta Falcons, super fantastic human being. I like that he's going into ministry. Look, I don't know the ins and outs, but he's not a general manager type. He's an ex-player that everybody respects, and he's very smart, and people listen to him. But you need somebody like Jim Nagy in that position. And now they have that guy. They have Jim Nagy himself, so that's a great situation. And I talked about this the other day, too, because I want to throw his name out there again. I think Kevin Wilson coming aboard as a consultant is a very good thing as well. There's nobody that I looked at and thought just, that all of these, I think, have been really good for Oklahoma. And in this day and age, with college football being a big business, it's always been a business, but a bigger business than ever. It's like in the old days when you used to plug in a football coach to the AD spot, like Vince Dooley at Georgia or Wade Walker was at Oklahoma. I'm not saying he was a bad AD, but you need business-oriented people in these positions now. There's a big difference between the way that Wade Walker, and he was instrumental in getting, he was the AD when Georgia and Oklahoma, got everybody's TV rights, right? So he did some things. Clearly, he had a bit of a business mind. But there's a big difference between the way the athletic department ran then versus how it does now with Joe Castiglione. It's marketing, business, and more so than ever. Okay, let's take a timeout right here. There are a couple of people that say visits are not that big a deal anymore, and college football staffs are way too bloated. Find out who they are when we get back, and I want to get Parker's take on that and yours when we return right here on Steelman and Thune.
Through the dead of winter, to the dawn of spring, through the dog days of summer, and the kickoff of fall, no one covers Sooner football like we do. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
The Ref is the home of Sooner fans and is once again your home for chaos. Every game-changing hit.
Long fly ball to left. Track. Whoa. Gone.
Every strikeout.
Got him. Swinging.
Every defensive gem.
He caught it. He caught it.
Every game, all year, the Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner Baseball against Cal State Northridge this Friday at 4, Saturday at 2, and Sunday at 1 on the Ref and the K-Ref app. Confidence comes from knowing you're getting a great deal. That's why we're offering Confidence Ford employee pricing for everyone. The same exclusive prices our team enjoys, with fantastic savings on new 2023 and 2024 models in stock. Now is the perfect time to drive home in a brand new Ford. Visit us online or come see us in person, conveniently located at 825 North Interstate Drive. Confidence Ford of Norman, a Cavender Auto family dealership, where confidence is Cavender.
Have you or someone you know suffered a loss to your home or business from the recent storms? Before you accept a settlement, call Brown O'Haver at 405-735-5510. Brown O'Haver is a local-based company helping Oklahomans with claims since 1988 with preparation and expert analysis detailing your loss and insurance settlement. As your trusted consultant, Brown O'Haver can give you peace of mind and make sure you're getting what's yours. Call Brown O'Haver today, 405-735-5510, and make sure they're working for you.
Tired of your current living situation? Now is the best time to make a move. Interest rates are dropping and Home Creations is offering the best financing around with rates as low as 3.625%. This will save you hundreds per month on your brand new Home Creations home. Live like a champion today by calling Holly at 405-364-9999 for full details.
364-9999 means Home Creations.
APR 6.508%.
There's strength in family and there's strength in partnership. Hi, I'm Michelle Huff with Armstrong Bank, where we believe in building financial stability and enduring relationships. As a family-owned community bank since 1909, we'll always be here to support you because we know that true strength is in our communities. Armstrong Bank, strength runs in our family. Visit armstrong.bank, member FDIC.
What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. I'm State Farm Agent Julia Chu, and my team and I take time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for retirement or in need of auto, home, life, or business insurance, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit the Julia Chu Agency or call 329-3311. Come visit at our new location, 701 Wall Street, Norman.
It's winter in Oklahoma, and whether it's 60 degrees or below freezing outside, Oklahoma Electric Cooperative and OEC Fiber are committed to keeping the electricity and internet flowing. We encourage you to visit oecfiber.com/winter for everything from tips on safeguarding your home against the freeze to preparing for a possible power outage. We understand the importance of keeping you informed and empowered during the coldest months. Stay prepared, stay warm, and stay connected from OEC and OEC Fiber.
Here in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios on a Thursday, tomorrow out at the amazing Riverwind Casino. They have nearly 3,000 electronic games, the best selection on an unbelievable gaming floor they redesigned within the last year and a half or so. That looks tremendous. They have an Oasis gaming area now that is smoke-free, a Skyloft gaming area upstairs. What about table games, you ask? They have them all. All your favorite table games, 2 table game pits, 2 high-stakes areas, poker room, that is big time. Oh, yeah, first ballot Hall of Fame poker room as well. Off-track betting. They have great promotions. The new member 7 is in effect year-round. Get your new Riverwind Wild Card. You can get one of the new fancy Thunder Riverwind Wild Cards and earn up to $450 in one day. Tomorrow night, we will have the final round of the 80K Cupid's Quest promotional drawings. The big Friday night drawings, always a popular event. Get on out there. Hopefully hear your name called when your share of 80K in cash and bonus play. And we've got a big show at the Showplace Theater coming up tomorrow night. Grammy Award winner, R&B legend Gladys Knight. Tomorrow night at the Showplace Theater. In March, we have 38 Special, Bonnie Raitt, and Chicago. In April, Boys to Men in America. And then in May, Patti LaBelle, the Randy Rogers Band, and Scotty McCreery. I was talking about Chicago. Look, that trio, look, all these shows are good, but 38 Special, Bonnie Raitt, and Chicago, that's a heck of a month right there. Chicago, to me, early Chicago was better than later Peter Cetera, sugary, soft, syrupy Chicago. I mean, they had some good ballads, but Terry Kath, old school, early Chicago was awesome. In the conversation for the greatest American rock band, Chicago is. and they'll be there in March. But Friday night, Gladys Knight, still a few tickets available. Get online at riverwind.com and go see Gladys Knight in concert at the Showplace tomorrow night. Okay, so I ran across this clip, and I wanted you to react to it because this was Andy Staples and Ari Wasserman. They were talking about modern-day college football and recruiting, and basically they were talking about official visits and bloated college football staffs now. And here's what the part of the conversation sounded like.
How important are official visits anymore? Like, because that used to be the biggest deal in the history of the
I
world.
had a discussion with a personnel person about this the other day. And I had a discussion with somebody who was actually talking about these GM jobs with that. Because they said their thing was like, here's a terrible piece of inefficiency, which, look, if you want to find inefficiency, go look in a college athletic department. But why are you bringing all these people in that you know won't necessarily sign with you? Like, what's the point of that? Why do you have to have all of these people at the dinner that they're going to on the official visit? Like, why do all these staff members have to go to the dinner at a giant steakhouse where everything's expensive? Why don't you just pare it down and shave $200,000 off the budget and buy yourself a backup offensive tackle?
What do you think? A very bewildered, confusing look right now on the face of Parker Thune, trying to figure out what exactly they were trying to say there. Sound like a couple cheap bastards to me is what they sound like.
I'm not even really sure what to make of those comments, to be honest with you. Because, like, could you make the argument that college football staffs are bloated and oversized? Certainly. But guess what, Steely? You know which schools have the bloated, oversized staffs? The schools that are competing for national championships every single year.
I wonder how many coaches and consultants and administrators Ohio State has for football, like compared to OU.
They have an enormous
staff. I would think it's pretty darn close, right? So, look, once somebody starts having success, people try and copycat that, right? But the realization is here for some people who maybe didn't hop on the bus, Gus, early enough, is that we got to run this like an NFL, like a professional organization, because that's what this is now.
Well, and this is going to sound counterintuitive to some people.
AAA pro football.
Let me unpack this a little bit. Coaching matters, especially at that level, especially at the Power 4 level. Coaching matters more than it ever has before. And because there are some people that will look at college football and say, well, none of it matters except for money. As long as you got the money, you're going to be fine. That's not true. That's not true. Look at some of the programs that have spent the most on their rosters in recent years. Texas A&M, Miami, Arkansas. And there are certainly examples of successful programs that have expensive rosters, Oregon, Ohio State, but you know what else they have? Very large coaching staffs and very good coaches. Here's why coaching matters more than ever before. Because the advantages of old, the things that would have been considered advantages in the realm of recruiting a decade ago, Steely, they're not advantages anymore because money is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
And so if everybody is operating on roughly similar financial footing, if you're not dealing with a wide chasm between you and your peer schools in the conference as far as what you can offer versus what they can offer, and everybody is able to recruit roughly similar talent pools. Obviously, Ohio State, for instance, is always going to recruit some measure more successfully than like Rutgers, for instance. But even Rutgers, I think they just signed their best class ever this past year. And so when talent is more spread out than it ever has been before, and it is more spread out, even though it might not feel like it, when the talent is more evenly distributed across the Power 4 than ever in the history of the sport, what advantages can you still establish? What advantages are there to be had? Well, if you have great coaches who can get the most out of the talent that you accumulate, that's what's going to put you over the top.
Coaching
and make
will
you a
always
championship
matter.
program.
You know.
Coaching will always matter. Absolutely. And I think that's the reason why some of these staffs have gotten so large, is because people understand, okay, if we're a great example of this is Missouri. Missouri is a beautiful example of this phenomenon. If
Don't
you're
use
Oklahoma,
the word beautiful with Missouri together
okay,
in the same sentence,
if
please.
you're Oklahoma, a decade ago, 2 decades ago, you were superior to Missouri in every way, Steely. And you don't really have to sweat head-to-head recruiting battles with Missouri, do you? Because you know, hey, when it comes down to it, we're going to win this because we just have more to offer. Well, that's not entirely true anymore because Missouri can use the great equalizer, money, to get a guy that might otherwise, probably would otherwise, wind up at a place like Oklahoma, absent the monetary factor.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Missouri is a program that's better equipped to compete with you now than they were 2 decades ago. How can you maintain a leg up on the field when you have to deal with other schools like Missouri that suddenly are able to recruit better than they ever have before because of the infusion of money? You have to get more out of your players. You have to get more out of your talent than Missouri is getting out of their talent. You have to have better coaches. And in some cases, more coaches, more oversight, more expertise. And I think that's why some of the top programs in college football have built such cumbersome staffs.
There you go. Cumbersome. That was a good song by Seven Mary 3 back in the day, too. And good, solid use of the word. By the way, my friend David, my good friend David, who's a musical historian and a fine musician in his own right, did say, yes, it was Peter Criss who did Beth. Eric Carr came in later, but it was Peter Criss. We were talking about the history of Kiss. By the way, Kiss, what do you guys think? I know we wanted to get into some old school rock and roll conversation, but in terms of musicianship, wasn't the only one that was like really a really good musician Ace Frehley, the guitarist? Because a lot of it was theatrics. Look, I was a huge Kiss fan. We all were. It was the theatrics, the makeup. Would you agree with that? Also, the High Fidelity record says Chicago Transit Authority, self-titled, is a masterpiece. No doubt. No doubt about it. And I haven't been able to find that one on vinyl. I need to get back to Guest Room soon. But, yeah. All right, 405-651. We can't, Brian from Maryland, we can't play the 7 Mary 3 bumper. We sold our souls to the YouTube people. So we can play nothing but generic instrumentals now. But at least we're on the YouTube. It's pretty cool to have these people on YouTube with us, by the way. Okay, here is something. You were talking about money, all right? I'm not going to tell you who this is, but somebody texted me the other day and talking to a prominent assistant coach who had ties to the old Big 12. And said, talk to, boop, boop, boop. He says that parents these days are way too much. Boop, boop, boop. Was once considered one of the greatest recruiters ever. He said the parents are now asking for dollars to be wired to them. That's what moves the needle. Is that a surprise to you? Like,
nope.
Wired to them, like to take a visit, or wired to them for, do you have to wire parents $50,000 just to get a kid to visit these days? But he said basically this former head coach and assistant coach is still working now, but is pretty much done because it's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure I had this exact same conversation with this exact same individual that you were talking to.
Mm-hmm. Well, we must protect the source.
Now, that's not shocking to me because in most cases, Steely, the parents are more money hungry than the kids.
Well, Caden Green would probably still be at Oklahoma, right?
Yes. Caden Green didn't want to leave Oklahoma. I think that's pretty commonly understood.
What did he say when he was leaving? Somebody said, "Why?" He said, "Ask my dad." Right?
A 918 listener says, "F Missouri just felt like that needed said."
I know.
I censored, by the way. He said the actual word.
He did.
The parents in many cases are more money hungry than the kids because like you got to put yourself in the shoes of a 17-year-old. Again, when I was 17 years old, Steely, you know what I was doing? I was working maintenance at a golf course
You were the Carl Spackler of Nebraska.
I was Carl Spackler of Nebraska.
Mrs. Craig, I'm looking at you. Ooh, that was a good one.
Making $8.75 an hour.
I want you to kill all the golfers. Sorry. Can't help it.
Was it $8.75 or was it $8.25? It was 8 and change.
Yeah.
Now, if I had also been a big-time football recruit and schools were promising me $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 a year, at a certain point, Steely, it's all the same because I've never seen that much money in my life.
You could go to another golf course in an NIL deal. You probably would have taken more money, right? I hear you. It's all about the money these days. Most of it, anyway. All right. Thanks to Lasher Home Comfort System. David, by the way, you need to check out the Chicago documentary on crime. Outstanding. And yes, I have seen the Terry Kath documentary, High Fidelity. All right. Coming right back. Another hour to go. Keep it here.
Sound off any time of day on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Right here on the home of Sooner fans, the Ref Sports Radio Network.
Don't miss out on OKC's hottest entertainment at the Showplace Theater with acts like Gladys Knight, February 28th. 38 Special, March 7th. Bonnie Raitt, March 15th. And Chicago, March 28th. Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak, and I'm back. I'm excited to be back with the Ref and cannot wait to help bring the home of Sooner fans the best Sooner coverage. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KRF app today to listen from anywhere.
Hi, this is Jack Kiker with Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, located in Blanchard, America. My grandfather, Larry Knippelmeyer, tells me everybody deserves to save money, so say goodbye to those pushy big-time dealers with all those add-ons like paint protectors, nitrogen tires, and everything else that they could possibly think of. Then come down to Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, just 15 minutes from OKC or Norman. At Knippelmeyer, we will save you money and make sure you get a good buy from a family-owned dealership that has treated customers like family for over 65 years. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
This is Mark Van Hoos, owner of Van Hoos Fence. Van Hoos Fence has years of experience and proven superior performance, kind of like a certain head ball coach.
We know Van Hoos Fence offers the best value and service for your residential, commercial, or sports fencing needs. Whether it's a new install or repair work, let Mark and his team at Van Hoos Fence be your trusted resource.
Call us today at 405-735-1167.
Save yourself from Googling it up. Go to vhfence.com. They will work with you in a great way.
Whether you're celebrating a special occasion, desire a great postgame, or after-work dining experience, the Ranch Steakhouse is the winning choice. At Ranch Steakhouse, we're grilling up the best USDA prime steaks in Oklahoma. Juicy, flavorful, and cooked to perfection. Pair that with an unbeatable atmosphere, a killer drink selection, and a wine list of over 400 personally curated bottles. Whether you're toasting the game or winding down after a big day, Ranch Steakhouse is where champions eat.
Are you looking for a luxury apartment for rent in Norman? The Falls at Brookhaven offers stunning 2- and 3-bedroom spacious floor plans with large walk-in closets, washer and dryer hookup, and a fabulous kitchen in a well-maintained, calm environment. From plush carpet to sleek stainless steel appliances to a pool, 24-hour fitness, and 2 dog parks, the Falls at Brookhaven has it all. Call our locally owned and operated community at 405-701-8233 or go online to thefallsatbrookhaven.com for a free tour and see what living in luxury is like.
Needing some electrical upgrades around your house? Don't do it yourself. Instead, trust the experts at Wade Electric. Wade Electric has been family owned and operated for over 50 years and is committed to the highest level of service and safety. Whether it's a remodel or new construction, our qualified installers can help. Service changes, LED lights, security or ambiance lighting, electric car chargers, or backup generators, we do it all. Leave it to the experts at Wade Electric. Call 405-329-1940 to speak with one of our trusted professionals today. today. At Primrose Funeral Service, we have been compassionately serving families for over 80 years. Do your loved ones a favor by pre-planning your funeral and cemetery arrangements. With pre-planning, Primrose can help eliminate the difficult decisions at a difficult time, because nobody should plan for a loss at the same time they are experiencing one. Our sincere commitment is to make things a little easier for you and your family. So contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit them online at primrosefuneralservice.com.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
You are cordially invited to join us here for hour number 2 on a Thursday. Mike, Steely, Parker Thune here in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios. We are on YouTube. Just search KREF Sports. Poll question today: which current Sooner football player will have the best NFL career? R. Mason Thomas, Kip Lewis, Deion Burks, or other? And you can comment in chat. Right now, I would say the favorite is running away with this. R. Mason Thomas at 58%, Deion Burks 21%, Kip Lewis at 12%. But maybe you feel it's Michael Fasusi. Maybe you feel you like the young wide receiver from Chakotah, right?
Elijah Thomas, man, if I had to bet on one of the current freshmen, the incoming freshmen, being an absolute stud, not just at the collegiate level, but at the NFL level, my money's on Elijah Thomas. No disrespect to Fasusi or Marcus Wimberly or Manny Choice or any of the other elite specimens that Oklahoma brought in. Cortland Guillory is going to be fantastic too, but Elijah Thomas is already just a little bit different.
Yeah, and you've been telling me about the numbers he's been posting and workouts and everything, and they're pretty good. Speaking of pretty good opportunities, well, this is better than pretty good. How about Hightower Clinical? They are bringing clinical trial opportunities to the state of Oklahoma. No cost or insurance needed to participate. Your meds, they're provided for free. That's a heck of a deal. Patients are also compensated for their time. They are located around the metro area right now in Oklahoma City, spreading out through other parts of the state soon. HightowerClinical.com, or you can call or text them for more information at 405-831-5905. We will be out at Riverwind Casino tomorrow. Can't wait to get out there and see the good folks at Riverwind. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Gladys Nights at the Showplace Theater. Get online at riverwind.com. Get those tickets. Grammy Award-winning legend Gladys Knight. Okay, last night, heartbreak again at the Lloyd Noble Center as a former Sooner delivered a dagger to Sooner Nation. Here's T-Row with the final call from Oklahoma, Kentucky last night at the LNC.
82-81 OU. Full court pressure. Perry will bring it up. Fears defending. Half court with 14. Perry gives to Owe. Miles knocked it loose. Owe chased it down. 10 seconds. Owe drives to the rim. Step through. Layup at the front of the rim. Made it. With 6.1. Inbound to Fears. No timeout. Fears. Head of steam. Step through at the rim. Shot blocked. Rebound Kentucky. And that's the ball game. 83-82. Kentucky wins it.
Damn it! Son of a bitch!
I think all of us felt a little bit like Nancy Kerrigan after being walloped with the baton in the brilliant scheme to take her out of the Olympics as orchestrated by Jeff Gillooly.
Who?
Jeff Gillooly.
That's a hell
Sean
of a last
Eckert and Tanya Harding. And I believe the dude who delivered the baton blow to the knee was Shane Smith. But, by the way, Sean Eckert, I think it was spelled like Aaron Eckert, E-C-K-H-A-R-D-T. Sean Eckert looked like Mark Mangino's younger brother. You can go ahead and Google him up back in the day. And he was the brilliant genius who orchestrated the attack on Nancy Kerrigan. And by the way, if you haven't seen that skit where Chris Farley is yelling, son of a, it's when he goes to the water park in the splash zone at SeaWorld. He's trying to hit on a woman. That woman was Janine Garofalo. Why anybody would want to hit on Janine Garofalo, I'm not sure. But every time he was trying to talk to her and deliver a line, the whale would splash him. It's good stuff. Great physical comedian, the late, great Chris Farley. Okay, let's hear what Porter Moser had to say. The Sooners found themselves in the splash zone for Otega Oweh. Down the stretch, man, everything was going through. 18 in a row, 21 of the last 23. He had 6 points, I believe it was, at halftime. Ends up at 28, and Kentucky wins 83-82. Here's Porter Moser in the postgame talking about how the Sooners, again, they're down now, but they got to keep on fighting.
They were hurting, as we all were, but they all kind of said, if we play this like this, we have, we got to take this hurt out on Ole Miss. There's no doubt. I think we found something, and it starts with Jeremiah, spraying it and getting other. We had some contributions from other guys, and we missed a big time switch on that 45 seconds left. It was just a guard back screen, and we mess it up, and Tega was wide open. I mean, we needed to get stops, and we couldn't get stops 3 straight times down the stretch.
I wish you had one more bucket or got one more call go your way, but that was a great college basketball game. Thanks for joining us.
I want to thank everybody. I thought the fans that were here,
atmosphere was
the
fun
students
tonight.
were awesome. They were really trying to make the guys miss the free throw, so thank you, and we're going to fight back.
All right, pretty good crowd last night at the Lloyd Nibble Center. I think it was a little over 10,000 officially. Now, those are tickets sold, but again, I thought for the LNC it was a pretty good crowd. A lot of Kentucky fans there. Next up for Oklahoma, a game in Oxford Saturday at 1 o'clock on ESPN2 against Ole Miss. The Rebs are reeling. They've lost 3 in a row, so maybe the Sooners can go in there and get a win. But it is an uphill climb for the Sooners. Right now they're at base camp again, and you got to reach close to the summit of Everest, which is going to be very tough. But you never know. You never know they're done. Unless they go to the SEC tourney in Nashville and also do some damage. But we'll see. We shall see. All right. So again, Ole Miss on the road Saturday, and the next week, final week of the regular season, Mizzou coming in next Wednesday, Saturday, March 8th. The Sooners wrap up the SEC season on the road in Austin against the Longhorns at 7 o'clock, and then on to the SEC tournament in Nashville. Sooner women in Gainesville tonight, 6 p.m., O'Connell Center. The OU women, 13th ranked, playing a Florida team that's 14-14 on the year and 5-9 of the SEC, so it should be a dub for Jenny Baranczyk and company. And then the Sooners will play their last regular season game coming up Sunday at 1:30 at the LNC against Alabama. So there you go. Okay, by the way, Gene Hackman, one of the greatest actors of all time. What a weird deal. He and his wife, both 95, and their dog. It's got to be
That's
like
carbon monoxide. Yeah, that's almost always what that is.
Yeah, that's a bad.
If there's no foul play suspected, it was probably a carbon monoxide deal.
Man. All right, so 10 greatest movies for Gene Hackman. Well, number 1, is Hoosiers the greatest sports movie of all time? And the answer is yes, it is.
Really?
Yes.
You're willing to go that far, huh?
I mean, there are others, The Natural's in there, The Sandlot's in there, Bull Durham's in there, Field of Dreams is in there. If you want to say now, like Raging Bull, with De Niro playing Jake LaMotta, there's another one. What's your all-time sports movie?
Hoosiers is certainly, it's top 3, no doubt.
We were wondering if you had watched Hoosiers, so you have.
You think I haven't watched Hoosiers?
You're a young whippersnapper. You just look at your phone. You don't watch movies. Blake and I were thinking maybe. So, but you have.
Yes, I have absolutely watched Hoosiers, Steely, many times, as a matter of fact. It's one of those movies I can watch again and again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going Hoosiers as his number 1 movie. Love it, love it, love it. I would go with The Conversation, Francis Ford Coppola. Number 2, that's an old one. Unforgiven was great. Unforgiven, one of the great Westerns of all time. Not quite The Searchers, but it's still really good. Bonnie and Clyde. Now, a lot of you young, fools out there have no idea what these movies are because you have a 20-second freaking attention span and you're basically clinically dead on many levels. But I recommend these. Now, I don't know if you could watch these movies because you actually have to pay attention to something other than your phone, but The Conversation, Unforgiven, Bonnie and Clyde, all great. Crimson Tide's a good one. The French Connection. The Firm was a good one. He was in Young Frankenstein. He had one scene in Young Frankenstein, one of the great comedies of all time, Mel Brooks. He was the blind guy who was lighting the cigar for the Frankenstein monster. That was Gene Hackman. He probably had 5 or 6 minutes of screen time, but he was in Young Frankenstein.
What are some latter-day Gene Hackman movies?
Royal Tenenbaums, maybe? Enemy of the State. Wait a minute. You're supposed to pass me a note. Remember, we don't need the amateur YouTubers out there off mic. We need to just bring the mic over to Blake, I think is what we need to do. Enemy of the State, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Mississippi Burning is one, but my top 3 would be Hoosiers, The Conversation, Unforgiven. But, man, Bonnie and Clyde was great, too. Faye Dunaway, Warren Beatty, really good. Really good. Superman would be just outside. Runaway Jury, that's right. That's a new one. But just a great actor. How many of those have you seen, Parker? I don't expect you to see, have seen The Conversation or Have you seen Unforgiven?
I've not seen Unforgiven.
Bonnie and Clyde is really good. Very violent for its time, by the way, but a great, great movie. Young Frankenstein is one of the best comedies ever by a pure genius in Mel Brooks. But to me, if I had to pick one sports movie, it would be Hoosiers. Bad News Bears, the original, was pretty good, too. I mean, when you got Kelly Leak on the motorcycle, Jodie Foster as the ace pitcher, Walter Matthau as the beer-drinking manager. Who is the little Tanner, the shortstop? Chico's bail bonds. It's underrated. But I'm just impressed that you saw Hoosiers. It's good.
Thanks. I'll take it, I guess.
Do you remember when the Pacers wore the Hickory uniforms?
I do recall that.
As a throwback one time, which I thought was awesome.
The Hickory Huskers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
OU and Porter Moser could use a Jimmy Chitwood right about now.
That's right. Why didn't they run the picket fence? Call timeout, run the picket fence, man.
I think there's some random freshman out there putting up shots in the Walker Adams Mall.
Yeah. Jimmy Chitwood, he told him he could make it. He made it. Got to have confidence. By the way, also last night, we're going to get to all of Poseidon Adventures, another good one. He was a hero in the Poseidon Adventure, Kevin. Good call. That was the Irwin Allen disaster movie era. Poseidon Adventure, Earthquake, there was another one. But I also watched last night, Parker, on Max, if you haven't seen it yet. I know that Blake's seen it. The documentary, We Beat the Dream Team. And it's really good. The Dream Team, you know all about the Dream Team. 92, the greatest collection of basketball players of all time. Charles Barkley was his typical great self in the press conference, When they asked him about the Angola game, he called him a bunch of spear chuckers.
Spear chuckers. Oh, my goodness.
That's Barkley. So anyway, Chuck Daly was the head coach of the Dream Team. We're talking about the 92 Dream Team, the greatest team of all time. Magic, Bird, MJ, all of them. Unbelievable. So it was Roy Williams, when he was still at Kansas before he went to North Carolina, who coached the USA Select Team. Now, the USA Select Team, they had Grant Hill, they had Bobby Hurley, Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway, Rodney Rogers from Wake Forest.
Rodney Rogers. There's a good poll.
Allen Houston, Eric Montross, Jamal Mashburn. That was the USA Select Team. So they show up, and they were out in San Diego where they were training. So the USA Select Team does one practice. Then the next day they have to scrimmage the Dream Team. So they arrive at the gym where the Dream Team's working out, and they go scrimmage the Dream Team. They're up there, in the seats watching the Dream Team, thinking, oh, my gosh, And then they scrimmage the Dream Team. Now, the Dream Team beat everybody by 9 million points, of course. Was it in Barcelona where they won? Wasn't it in Spain?
That is correct. Barcelona 1992.
So, I mean, they just destroyed everybody. But the final score in the scrimmage, the first scrimmage, the USA Select Team 62, the Dream Team 54. And that was it. So they were making shots left and right. Chris Webber was dunking. Allen Houston was making threes. Bobby Hurley was going to the hoop. All these guys played great. And they even talked a little trash to the Dream Team. What's great is you can see the videotape because it was always kind of like a rumor, but they have the tape where you can see them going right through the guys. Now, Mike Krzyzewski, who was an assistant, Mike Krzyzewski and P.J. Carlissimo were the assistants for Chuck Daly on the Dream Team. Coach K contends that, well, Chuck Daly wanted to teach these guys a lesson because they were thought to be unbeatable, which they really were, but that, Chuck Daly, once they got behind, just decided, he wasn't going to play Michael that much or Magic or whoever. But they did still play, and Coach K contends he just wanted them to, let's go ahead and lose this game. Be a good lesson. Well, Grant Hill and the USA Select teams are calling BS on that. No revisionist history, but it's great to watch. All the guys have really good comments about the game. But the next day, like Rodney Rogers has said to Larry Bird, you haven't made a jump shot since the 80s, old man. So Magic got the ball to Bird on like the first 5 possessions the next day, and Bird was doing his thing, off the glass, and Rodney Rogers came out to a pump fake, and Bird said, welcome to the Parachute Club, as he was going out of bounds and buried another 3. The next day, those guys destroyed the Select team. I mean, just destroyed them. But it's excellent. If you haven't seen that yet, really, really good stuff. It's on Max. We beat the Dream Team.
On the topic of OU hoops, KW918 with a really sad text that unfortunately is quite accurate. Just agonizingly fitting that the player you couldn't afford to keep, Owe, has a career day and game winner, and the center you couldn't afford in the portal, Garrison, a kid from OKC, gets the final block to close the deal.
Yeah.
You just seriously can't make this stuff up.
And then talks major trash and punks Jeremiah Fears after the game.
Did you see the video that Holden Kruzmark posted on Twitter from the court after the game? He captured like the final, or like the 2 minutes of aftermath immediately following the final buzzer. There's a lot of jabbering going back and forth.
Really? Is it audible?
Oh, it's all very audible, yes. Jalen Moore said, and I quote to Brandon Garrison, "You a hoe."
Well, how many times we said that around here daily to like TJ or something, if he asked us to caught a spot. Quite frequently, actually.
Really? I've never
What'd you
said
say?
that.
Was it Holden Caulfield who got the, was that the catcher
Holden,
in the
Holden
rye?
Kruzmark from K4?
I thought you said Holden Caulfield from the catcher in the rye. So, who is this guy, Kruzmark? Should I know him?
Yeah, he's one of the sports guys at K4.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't watch TV. I'm usually looking at my phone. So, anyway.
Wow.
No, not really. All right, I'm
You're
sure
the
he's
same
fine.
person.
I'm sure he's fine. Holden.
You're the person you like to make fun of.
I mean, I admit that I'm kind of addicted to my phone. I just don't have to tweet and take pictures of myself every, 20 minutes. Those people are called narcissists. Okay, we'll break right here. Come back with some more brilliant award-winning commentary. Hit the text line in the YouTube chat. We'll do that next right here on The Ref.
Bleed Crimson? Love great Sooner talk? Join the Ref Army by downloading our free app. Toby and TJ, Plank and Josh, Steelman and Thune, and Teddy and Tyler. We have the Sooner experts. The Ref is home to Sooner fans worldwide.
The 2025 home season finale for the Oklahoma gymnastics team is Friday, March 7th at 7:15 against the Michigan Wolverines. The senior class has won championships. They've broken records, and we need you at the LNC wearing crimson to celebrate Jordan, Audrey, Danae, and Danielle and all of their accomplishments. Tickets are available at Soonersports.com/tickets, and we'll see you at the LNC on March 7th. Boomer Sooner.
Now that open enrollment for healthcare coverage has ended, there's still several options to consider that just might benefit you. Need to purchase your own health insurance? Confused about Medicare? Considering offering benefits to your employees? Call the agents at Allison Insurance, featuring 70-plus years of combined insurance business experience. They're able to help clients avoid mistakes when purchasing individual or group health insurance. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. They are the experts.
Hey drivers, it's Ryan Blaney, your 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion and driver of the number 12 Discount Tire Ford Mustang. Do you know one of the most important things that helps keep my car going on the track? Tire pressure. Keeping your tires properly inflated is crucial for safe stopping power and better gas mileage. Check your tire pressure at least once a month or stop by a local tire retailer for an air check.
A message from the U.S. Tire Manufacturers Association.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers.
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Tired of your current living situation? Now is the best time to make a move. Interest rates are dropping and Home Creations is offering the best financing around with rates as low as 3.625%. This will save you hundreds per month on your brand new Home Creations home. Live like a champion today by calling Holly at 405-364-9999 for full details.
364-9999 means Home Creations.
APR 6.508%.
Did the recent storms damage your home and roof? Call All American Roofing today. All American Roofing has been repairing and replacing roofs for over 40 years and is a second-generation locally owned roofing company. They are also a Google guaranteed contractor and offer free inspections. Our roofers are GAF Master Elite contractors with a BBB A+ rating. Call All American Roofing today at 405-787-0400. All American Roofing, the best roofing company in Oklahoma. 405-787-0400.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? We are currently in the process of trying to save the clip, which was not on anybody's bingo card today, and that was Parker Thune just uttering in the last 6 or 7 minutes, quote, "You a hoe." So I think we could find that. So anyway, he's got his headset. Drake, you know, we're doing a show here, okay? Jeez. What kind of, I mean, has Drake worked in radio for a while? Has he? Gee, mini Chris, he's just coming in. What's he doing? We were just saying that we are efforting to get, so we can have this in the clip collection, the words that were just uttered by Parker Thune that nobody thought would ever be uttered. Quote, "You a hoe," which is allegedly what Jalen Moore said to
Not allegedly, Steely. It's on video.
Oh, it's there? It's on the tape?
You can go on Twitter, and you will clearly see and hear Jalen Moore pointing to Brandon Garrison and saying the words, "You a hoe," repeatedly.
By the way, Brian and Bixby coming in from the Correction Police. Here's the siren. Jodie Foster wasn't in Bad News Bears. That was Tatum O'Neal. Did I say Jodie Foster? That's right, actually. It was Tatum O'Neal. 62-year-old brain problems, Brian. The brain doesn't function. It used to be on an Einstein level, not quite Einstein now. More of like, I don't know. Who's a moron? pretty much everybody these
He
days.
said,
but
who's a moron?
pretty much every day. Morons. That's where I am now. Wasn't Tatum O'Neal the youngest actress to win the Oscar? Did she win that for Paper Moon? I think that's right. Now, see, and that will reestablish my brilliance if that is accurate. Okay?
Let me fact check you.
I will have to, or
hang on. So say this again. Youngest
actress to win an Oscar.
No, okay, nope, you're wrong.
What?
You're wrong.
Why, you son of a supporting actress.
At the age of 10, she became the youngest person ever to win a competitive Academy Award.
What?
Not an Oscar.
That's
an
the same
Academy
thing.
Award.
An Academy Award is an Oscar.
Nope, it says Academy Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, the brilliance has been reestablished right here. So Brian and Bixby, you know what? When you question a genius, and you were right, but the genius usually wins.
Yes, no, you were correct, and you got the movie correct as well. It was Paper Moon.
I remember it, black and white, Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal. Right? Yeah. Same people. Sort of. Not really. Not at all. I'm losing my mind right now. Okay, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet.
Oh, I forgot about this one. Panhandle Sooner says, how about Gene Hackman going with Shane Falco in The Replacements? Bold move.
You know what's weird is I've never seen The Replacements.
Really?
I guess I'm going to have to watch that because everybody has recommended that. And that's one of the movies that I haven't gotten around to. So, there you go.
I forgot that was Gene Hackman. But yep, that was Gene Hackman.
Gator says, no, the answer is Moops. Nice sign for Moops. Moops. Wasn't that the Trivial Pursuit battle between George Costanza and Bubble Boy? And then Bubble Boy's arm comes out of the bubble and tries to strangle Costanza. One of the great Seinfeld episodes of all time. No doubt. Okay. 405. By the way, is there anything going on? Jaden O'Neal, committed to the University of Oklahoma.
Yep.
Big-time quarterback.
Yep.
OU's offered Bo Bentley, and now everybody's offering Bo Bentley, right?
Yep.
Do you think they want to get two quarterbacks, right?
They want to get two quarterbacks,
Now,
yes.
if you could get both those guys, it would be awesome. The question is, if you already have Jaden O'Neal. If you get Bo Bentley, does Jaden O'Neal stick? I know that's been the question going around because now everybody's offering Jaden O'Neal as well.
Yeah, here's the reality. A, I don't think Bo Bentley is going to commit as long as Jaden O'Neal is still in the class. And B, even if I wound up being wrong about that and Bo Bentley did decide to commit to OU while Jaden O'Neal was still in the class, I think at that point you would lose Jaden O'Neal. Because the Hawks are still circling with Jaden O'Neal. Obviously, it's open season on Bo Bentley. Everybody's trying to recruit that kid. But for Jaden O'Neal, I think there's an understanding. I mean, Georgia recently offered him. There are several other schools.
Did he get offered by Muleshoe?
I don't believe he's been offered by Muleshoe.
He's a Cali kid.
Muleshoe has his quarterback,
Yeah.
Jonas Williams, in the 2026 class. Colorado was a school that Jaden O'Neal visited this past fall, and so I think there's a healthy understanding from some of the other big-time programs across the country that, hey, Oklahoma could screw this up. Oklahoma could find a way to screw this up with both of these guys. If Jaden O'Neal winds up on the open market, we can be poised to spring. Or maybe they just decide we'd rather have Bo Bentley than Jaden O'Neal. Then we'll be all over Jaden O'Neal. But
now, was Bo Bentley more of Arbuckle's guy? Kind of when he was at Wazoo?
If you watch Bo Bentley on tape, he is definitely more of a Ben Arbuckle quarterback than Jaden O'Neal is. I think that's fair to say. Stylistically speaking, the type of quarterback that you envision ideally operating in an offense like Arbuckle's, Bentley is a little bit better suited for it. But that said, Cam Ward had plenty of success in Arbuckle's offense. He didn't have quite the success that John Mateer had, but he had plenty of success. And Jaden O'Neal is certainly a Cam Ward adjacent type. Right? It's not as if you have to have a guy with a ton of mobility and a guy that presents danger with his legs, like John Mateer does, or like Bo Bentley does, or even like Michael Hawkins. You don't need to have that type of guy in order to run an effective offense behind Arbuckle's scheme, but it's certainly a luxury that you'd like to have if possible.
So would you say, maybe poor man's comparison, that Bo Bentley would be closer to John Mateer, and maybe Jaden O'Neal would be closer to good Spencer Rattler, maybe, who could run some,
Sure,
but
yeah, and O'Neal to Rattler probably isn't the best comparison because he's just so much larger than Rattler was.
Yeah.
Jaden O'Neal's a good solid 6'3", muscled up, 215, 220
See,
pounds, looks the part.
The Sooners haven't had that quarterback for a while, right?
No, they haven't. Who was the last guy they had that kind of
Blake
fit
Bell,
that mold?
maybe?
Well,
Landry was big.
yeah,
but
he's kind of like Landry Jones, honestly. Like, if you were looking for an OU quarterback comparison in the recent past, Landry Jones is probably the guy that fits best.
Yeah. The Wichita Falls Sooner says, won't our new GM have input on our 2026 quarterback?
Your next GM will have input on everything. However, it's not going to be as simple as Jim Nagy getting to town and deciding, I like Bo Bentley better than Jaden O'Neal, or I like Jaden O'Neal better than Bo Bentley. Jim Nagy is going to take stock of everything and all of the nuances and all of the triggers that making a decision on one of those two quarterbacks would entail. Because, like somebody asked on the text line, if you lose Jaden O'Neal, do you lose Daniel Odom? 1,000%. There is no world in which Daniel Odom signs with Oklahoma, but Jaden O'Neal doesn't. If you lose Jaden O'Neal, you can kiss Daniel Odom goodbye too. So for Jim Nagy, it's not just going to be about, okay, which of these quarterbacks do I like better? It's what type of value are we getting for the NIL deal that they're going to demand here? What relationships do they have with their peers in the class that could contribute to a more holistic and ideal overall result in the 2026 recruiting cycle? You know, even if we like Bo Bentley better than Jaden O'Neal as a prospect, does signing Jaden O'Neal mean we get this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy, and that outweighs the benefit of having a quarterback in Bentley that we feel maybe fits our system a little bit better? So Nagy's job is going to be to take a look at the big picture, not just, okay, O'Neal versus Bentley, who do we like? Because it's not that simple. It's never that simple.
Some people are saying Jalen Hurts was a big quarterback. He was thick.
He was big, but he could run.
Was he but wasn't Jalen like 6'1", or is he taller than that?
Jalen's taller. Jalen's like 6'3".
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go ahead and Google it up. But the dude, he was the dude who was lifting after games before his post-game press conference.
Yeah.
That
He's
guy,
a little different.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right. One-star Joe Bob from Louisiana says, Steely 0 for 2, Rednecks 2-0. That ain't true.
What was Joe Bob right about? Why are you down 2-0 to the Rednecks?
I don't know. I took one L when I said Jody Foster rather than Tatum O'Neal. But here's the deal. All the Rednecks have Google.
Oh, because Joe Bob got you on the Kiss drummer, too. That's what it was.
Yes.
You said Eric Carr. He said Peter Criss.
Yeah, I just thought that – I don't know why I had it in my mind that Eric Carr might have been the drummer that that did the song Beth. But I was wrong.
Look at that. Rednecks claiming the midweek series against Steely.
Well, sometimes, you never know. Chaminade beat Virginia one time, right, when they were number 1 in the country.
Are you calling the Rednecks Chaminade?
Yes, in this case, yes.
And
now,
you're Ralph Sampson?
The benefit of Google, see, I don't have the Google here. I mean, I could reach out and type, but I couldn't fool you. I don't have the Google here. They've got me watching YouTube all the damn time, of course.
OU Tino says, before the Naggie hire, didn't we hire the former AT&T executive for a similar position, or what role will he be playing? Okay, so as I understand it, yes, you have Randall Stevenson, who it was announced yesterday as part of the shift with the addition of Jim Nagy to the front office. Randall Stevenson is going to assume the title of Chair of Football. So as I understand it, what this means is that Jim Nagy and Brent Venables are reporting to Randall Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
And that for all intents and purposes, Randall Stevenson is the top-tier authority figure for the sport of football.
Well, and that means basically that Brent's the head coach, as we all know, very important, and Jim Nagy is very important, but basically they report to the Wizard of Oz, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and the Wizard of Oz in this case is Randall Stevenson.
The man behind the curtain.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if there's a big curtain over there, but that's kind of the power structure, which is good because Randall Stevenson's track record is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like I said, aren't we playing AAA professional football right now in the SEC? Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, what you have is you have a guy who specializes in organizational leadership and management in Randall Stevenson. You have a guy who specializes in roster construction and player evaluation, not only player evaluation, but player valuation, i.e. how much is this player actually worth in Jim Nagy. And you have a guy who specializes in coaching ball in Brent Venables. And so with those three guys having their roles divvied up the way that they are, I think there's a lot to like about the future of Oklahoma football as long as you can start stringing wins together, because ultimately what matters most is the results on the field. And this fan base is going to have to see the results on the field before they're drinking the Kool-Aid on what exactly this new power structure looks like.
All right, we're going to take a break. Good stuff today on chat and YouTube. Really good stuff, as always, on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. And we're here in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios tomorrow at the one and only Riverwind Casino, the best casino experience in the metro area. Justin, the crew over there, they've got it all. Now nearly 3,000 electronic games. If you haven't been there in the last 18 months or so, the newly redesigned gaming floor is real, and it is spectacular. They have an Oasis gaming area that's smoke-free. They have a Skyloft gaming area right upstairs, right up the escalator, connected to the unbelievable Riverwind Hotel. And they've got all your favorite table games as well. 2 table game pits, 2 high-stakes areas. Poker room, they've got it. It's world-class. They have off-track betting. Great promotions, great bars and dining. The River Buffet is tremendous. We'll be out in front of our usual spot tomorrow, right out in front of Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant. They've got great selections at their newly redesigned food court as well. Tomorrow night is the final round of drawings for the Friday, February drawings, which that is the 80K Cupid's Quest. Drawings happening tomorrow night. Get out there. You have a chance to win your share of 80K in cash and bonus play. And we have a legendary performer on the Showplace Theater stage coming up tomorrow night. Gladys Knight, Grammy Award winner, R&B legend, on the midnight train to Georgia with all of our other hits coming up tomorrow night on stage at the Showplace Theater. Tickets are available, riverwind.com. If you're going out to the casino today, then you can just stop by the Showplace Theater box office. That easy. Tomorrow night, Gladys Knights at the Showplace Theater. Let's take a break. One more segment coming up next here on The Ref.
The word is spreading, and the Ref Army is growing. Keep telling your friends and family that there's only one station for true Sooner fans, and that's the Ref Radio Sports Network, and worldwide on the KREF app.
OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Locally owned for more than 45 years, Balfour continues to be Sooner fans' favorite OU store and has everything you need. Balfour has the latest styles and fashion trends for men, women, and children. You can find something for every Sooner fan. When it comes to hats, they have you covered with more than 100 styles to choose from. Even OU socks, so you're literally covered from head to toe. Graduation is right around the corner. They have OU diploma frames in stock. Or you can always get a gift card so they can choose the perfect gift for themselves. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
Ready for some pickleball fun? Join us at the Y-Fac for pickleball every Tuesday from 8 to 11 a.m. and Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. Grab your friends and hit the courts for a lively morning or evening game. If water fitness is your pleasure, Aqua Zuma classes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Go online at yfac.com to learn more about day passes and memberships.
The all-new Eskridge Honda is here, right in time for the new year. Our new building is awesome, just like these deals. Pay just $259 per month on new 2024 Accords. Come in today to get the best deals all month long. Now conveniently located off I-35 and 89th. Just look for the blue tents on the roof. Online at eskridgehonda.com.
2024 Accord LX, $259 per month, 3-year, 10,000-mile lease, $399 plus TTNL and first month's payment due at signing. Ends 2/28/25.
I'm Randy Gardner, President and CEO for Rose Rock Habitat for Humanity. I'm super excited about our Common Grounds Coffee Festival this year. The Cleveland County Fairgrounds are under construction, so we are doing things different this year. We are taking the Coffee Festival on tour for the month of February. This year, we are offering a passport for you to visit our vendors at their places of business. In return, take advantage of special offers, prizes, and much more. Stop by the Habitat Restore, 1100 West Main Street in Norman to purchase your passport for only $10. Visit roserockhabitat.org/coffee to learn more.
Get ready to unleash your inner fury at the Norman Sports Commission's Fun Run. Join us on Saturday, March 1st with a race right through Norman. You can pick your distance too, a half marathon, 5K, or a 1-mile fun run, each with an unforgettable run through the iconic OU football stadium. You can sign up for the Fury Run at thefuryrun.com. That's thefuryrun.com and be part of the action.
Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
5 Iron Golf is now open in Yukon, Oklahoma. Escape the Oklahoma weather and play world-famous courses like Pebble Beach on state-of-the-art TrackMan simulators. Perfect your swing with expert coaching or just kick back with delicious food, craft cocktails, and a lively sports bar vibe. Planning a party, corporate outing, or fun night out? 5 Iron Golf has you covered. Visit 5 Iron Golf to book now and experience the future of indoor golf and entertainment in Yukon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the poll has closed. Which current Sooner football player will have the best NFL career? The favorite, R. Mason Thomas, 58%. Deion Burks, 20%. Kip Lewis, 11%. 9% for other. I'm not sure who other was, but 9%.
Other was whoever you wanted.
That's right. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, making its debut right here is this amazing new soundbite.
You a hoe. You a hoe. You a hoe. You a hoe.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Very nice.
In a stunning move earlier, Parker Thune went completely tawdry on these airwaves. Completely tawdry. That was not.
We're gonna have to find a use for that.
Oh,
we're gonna have to add that to the.
Well, just any redneck that right before we boot him, on the text line. That's too good. It's too good. Now I'm gonna get that young children. I'm a line. I just got my kid. Thanks a lot, Steelman.
You can tell your young children that a hoe is a gardening implement.
It's a gardening utensil. Yes, absolutely. If you're a gardener, everybody needs their own hoe. Except for me, I don't garden. I don't do well with tools.
Oh, man.
That's what money's for.
It's about time to start planting. It's getting to be that time.
What kind of crops would you plant?
Well, I know we're going to plant some stuff.
Really?
Out at the homestead. I don't know what yet. Got all my land cleared this morning.
Got a good hoe out there to work with?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Got a hoe. Many other tools.
Hose and tools.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the text line pretty much, doesn't it? On some days.
Some days, yes.
All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet Tech. Could you believe Steely's show today? That man is tawdry. Must have played that horrible sound clip 4 or 5 times.
Uh-oh. Sad basketball fan Josh is spiraling.
Uh-oh.
He said, changing my name to depressed basketball fan Josh.
Oh, that's not good. Not good. At least the Thunder won last night, although they were down 18 early. Jeez. Shit, my wife lives and dies with Thunder basketball now. I'm very impressed. What are we doing? She gets into it, too, like, oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
Guard the three.
We've lost Shay.
Yeah, tell Shay the NBA's woke.
Jay in Tulsa says, I've been listening to you guys since you've been together, and that is by far the best sound bite I have ever heard on this show.
Bring it back
my
over
goodness.
here if you would, please, because
You guys, we can just load that into the computer.
we can, but now we just want to play it. It's on the mic. It's good enough sound. But we will load it in the computer. But Gangsta Parker showed up. And it's awesome.
Oh, Steely's having technical difficulties. He doesn't know how to operate a smartphone.
Well, it's on Blake's phone. He did the brilliant editing. There it is.
You a hoe. You a hoe. You a hoe.
I like Gangsta Parker. Pretty good. All right, 405-651-3439. Ken Ippelmeyer, Chevrolet text line. Because it's not alleged, right? That's what Jalen Moore and Brandon Garrison were saying to each other?
That's what Jalen Moore said to Brandon Garrison. I didn't quite make out what Brandon Garrison said to either Jalen Moore or Jeremiah Fears. But, of course, it all originated when Brandon Garrison got up in Jeremiah Fears' business after the game ended.
Yeah.
For no reason.
You and Brandon ever said that to each other on one of your shows or anything?
I can't speak for Drum.
Yeah.
I have never said you a hoe in reference to him.
Now Brandon can go a little gangsta. He's got the backwards hat on. You know, he's pretty close to the cutoff age where you can wear a backwards hat. Now I know why you wear a backwards hat on a show like that because, like I look on YouTube now, half of my face is shaded. Now that's also to protect young children from looking into my face and being frightened to death with this old face I have now. But I get why you wear it, but there's a certain age where you can't, like, I can't do the backwards hat. What is Brandon? Brandon's like 41?
Something like that, yeah.
I'd say
early 40s.
I would say Brandon's real close to the edge. Great Yes album, by the way. But Brandon's real close to the edge because there's a line where you can kind of be there, but then it becomes there's a zone of debaggery zone that you cross into at a certain age with a backwards hat. Clark Stroud, I bet he's worn a backwards hat before many times, and he's probably
still does.
Yes,
out there on the practice field.
But
at USC.
you know, he was an attention seeker. There's no doubt about it. So, and rode mule shoes coattails out to California. But I could see him doing that. You don't want to be Brandon. You've got, let's put 18 months on the backwards hat, okay?
I'll let him know. The jig is up come the start of the football season in 2026.
There you go.
Got to let it go at that point, Brandon. 580 Nate says, I feel like I'm more of a hoe than a tool most days.
Oh, man.
Greg from Lawton says, allow Tyler access to that clip, Steely. He'll find a good use for it.
Well, I mean, we share a lot of clips.
Drew from Plymouth said, Cowherd doesn't like the backwards hat guys. I will say this. Better to be a backwards hat guy than a visor guy.
Do-rag guy.
Only one human being.
It's Bob Stoops.
Bob Stoops can claim the visor.
What about Steve Spurrier?
No. Bob Stoops gets to wear a visor. Nobody else does.
Fred Couples.
Bob Stoops made the visor cool.
Old school. Fred Couples can claim it. Won the Masters in a visor, right?
And we're not talking about golf.
Bob Stoops, I think Bob would agree with me that Steve Spurrier would also be allowed.
Bob looks good in a visor. Anybody that tries to wear a visor that isn't Bob Stoops, at that point you're just a cheap imitation of the real thing.
The visor is a difficult look. It is a Phil Mickelson. No. Nah.
Yeah.
I don't like Phil
For
anymore.
instance.
Don't like him. Just don't like him.
Look, Bob Stoops can make a visor look good, but Bob Stoops is not your average human being. If you are your average human being, i.e. mule shoe, you're going to wind up looking stupid in a visor.
Mule shoe, didn't he go full-on hat most of the time now because of his bald-ass head back there?
Or because he got crucified on Twitter for wearing the visor plus the hair plugs.
Yeah, that's true.
He just finally succumbed to social pressure and gave up on it.
I just looked at the text line, and it said, Fred Couples is a hoe. Out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere, but because of, oh, man. 405-651-3439.
A 918 listener says, once you graduate high school, the backwards hat should be a thing of the past, and you're embarrassed you ever did it.
Some people do it on streams again because, like I said, maybe they don't have a lot of hair up there or whatever. They don't like their hair. But the bill of my cap right now is keeping my old man face shaded somewhat, which is good, like I said, because young children would look at this old mug and start screaming in horror. Probably.
I can see this. Sugar Shane in Newcastle says, I feel like Fred Couples and Ted Roof are friends.
Really? Because of the Ted Roof has pretty good hair. Freddie's always had pretty good hair.
Think Freddie and Ted are in a barbershop quartet together?
I mean, Freddie was from the state of Washington and played. He was Jim Nance was his college roommate. They played golf together at Houston. So I don't know what would link him to. Please explain. Does Ted Roof play? Ted Roof, of course, fronts the three-man fronts. But I don't know that Freddie's any kind of musician, unless I've missed out. That's something that we didn't expect on the text line today either. Fred Couples is a hoe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of a struggling college basketball season and the in-between time before the starts of spring football.
A 405 listener says, come on, guys, Alex Grinch wore a visor. Yep, more evidence.
Where's Grinch now again?
He is the defensive coordinator at the University of Central Florida.
Oh, yeah, but wasn't he
the successor to one Ted Roof?
Where was he last year, though?
Wisconsin
secondary?
coach.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Scott Frost really got back in the coaching profession and decided to hire Alex Grinch to run his defense.
UCF's another fake natty school, too, right?
Scott Frost must have – that savings account must have run dry while he was out there on the yacht. Now he has to reload for a couple more years. Nothing says I'm unserious about winning like hiring Alex Grinch to be your defensive coordinator.
By the way, did they at UCF they put up that bogus national title too, didn't they? Didn't they put up a banner?
Yes, they did. 2017 national champions.
How many bogus natty schools do we have out there? OSU, A&M, UCF. I mean, USC and like Alabama, they also in their old media guides like won the Reader's Digest national title in 1928 or whatever.
Yeah, and you know what the equivalent of that will be is some YouTube yahoo who does their own poll.
Oh yeah.
Next season will name like Charlotte national champions because they had an undefeated regular season, and you know they'll hang the banner, put up the plaque. Ralphie 423 national champions 2025.
Some YouTube yahoo. I would say, what would you say the yahoo percentage is on YouTube? 92%.
Pretty dang high.
Come on, show, man. Hey, did you copy down all the stuff that was said on local radio today? Let's talk about it. Act like we're experts, by God.
Greg from Lawton says, Speed D, you a hoe.
All right, what a show today. You know, this might be an award winner. We might have to put this in a time capsule or send it to the OAB or both. How could they not listen to this and say this is some of the finest radio I've ever heard. They probably would. Nobody, there was not a single text on a text line in the United States of America today where somebody read Fred Couples is a hoe on the text line.
Oh, groundbreaking, riveting stuff happening on these airwaves.
You never know. 5-star, what did 5-star Gunny say? Last one.
He said, what's your favorite gold quote, Steely? I always loved, God can't even hit a one-iron.
Oh, Lee Trevino, yeah. If it's there's lightning out on the course, just hold up a one-iron because not even God can hit a one-iron. Pretty good. Lee Trevino had some lines back in the day, there's no doubt. Okay, got to get out of here. The YouTube Yahoos. You a hoe. Tomorrow at Riverwind Casino, folks, we'll be out in front of Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant. Gladys Knight in concert tomorrow night at the Showplace Theater. Always good times and great rewards at Riverwind. Want to thank Blake for helping us out as well as usual on the YouTube situation. Yahoos and hucksters abound on YouTube. Ain't that right, Gator?